Yes, another thing that I'm talking about that probably is scandalous to some people just because of where I stand. Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I'm the Philadelphia Whovian, and for this video, as you saw in the title of the video, it's about Romana regenerating into Romana 2 in the first episode of the story, Destiny of the Daleks. Okay, let's just come to the chase here. When it comes to this story of Destiny of the Daleks, there is the Romana 1 where she regenerates into Romana 2, and it happens off screen, where the story starts with the Fourth Doctor at his console unit, and he says, Romana, what are you doing? And he says, and she says, outside, again, in the other room where we do not see her, she is regenerating. And then she comes out and she looks precisely like like Layla Ward, and Layla Ward looks like the same character from the previous adventure, The Armageddon Factor, because she is the same actress who played that character. The doctor argues and says, what are you doing wearing the face of another person? And Romana says, well, I thought it looked very good on her, so I liked it, so I'm keeping it. And he says, you can't walk around with other people's faces. Go and change. And Romana proceeds to regenerate and change into not one, not two, not three, but like 4 more different times before she's like, okay, this is the one I'm sticking with. And and the doctor doesn't want her to keep it, but she kind of, uses gentle persuasion to keep it just by wearing something that he usually wears, but also kind of just wearing down his patience. That's all it is, and that's how we get Romana 2, played by Layla Ward, the same actress who played the princess in The Armageddon Factor. Okay, I have seen people have problems with this idea. First of all, I think it's way too comedic, and so it's annoying. But then another problem I've seen that people have with this, which is a problem I just don't have, which is they say that it's foolish because Romana regenerates off screen, so it's annoying, and it's like, oh, it's not as cool as if she regenerated on screen, but also because they think Romana is a smart time lady, which she is, therefore she would not waste 5 different incarnations to settle on one face. She would not waste 5 different incarnations. Here's why I have no problem with it, because I don't agree with people when they say she wasted 5 incarnations. I don't think she did. I think she's still on the same incarnation. It's just simply that when she's regenerating, she's able to morph her appearance. She controls how she looks. So when she first generates and she looks like the princess, and she regenerates again, she's still in the same regeneration. Her regeneration is still not complete. She's changing her look, and when she finally settles on the face she settles on, that's simply all one regeneration sequence, but she's not wasting incarnations by regenerating into different faces. I don't look at each of those faces she walked in with to be a different incarnation. I think it's still the same incarnation that is being regenerated into. It's just that because Romana has an ability to control how she looks when she's regenerating, it's all the same process. People literally have been saying to me they hate it because it's like she wasted, like, now Romana 2 is really Romana 5 or Romana 6 because of all the incarnations she wasted just changing her face. I don't think she wasted incarnations changing her face. I think it's all the same incarnation, just her regeneration. She has something that the doctor does not usually have or the ability to have. She can control her regeneration sequence. Remember with the first Doctor regenerating, he had the TARDIS help him, but with Romana coming out and choosing what she looks like, we get a different incarnation or regeneration sequence where we see a time lady, another of the Doctor's race, another Gallifreyan, who can literally change how she looks by will. She can control how she looks. So we see another Time Lord's way of regenerating. And that turns out the Doctor's uncontrolled regenerations is something that usually happens, but some Time Lords or Time Ladies have the power to control what they look like when they are regenerating. I thought that expanded the concept of what could happen with a regeneration, so I was fine with it. I was okay with it, and I even kind of liked it, because also it showed how different Time Lords or Time Ladies can have different powers than other Time Lords and Time Ladies. It could even vary per incarnation. We see the Master, who has the ability to manipulate people people and mesmerize them and hypnotize them. But the Doctor doesn't always have that power, or most incarnations of the Doctor do not have that power. And then the 10th Doctor, we see him read Madame Pompadour's mind by touching her with his hands, and we see the 11th Doctor transfer memories by hitting Craig in the head. We also see how the 3rd Doctor has a magical ability about him, but we also see how the 4th Doctor can hypnotize people into holding their breath in Terror of the Zygons, how he kept Sarah Jane Smith alive through his, hypnotizing ways about him. And we also saw how, another thing, we see how with Regeneration, when Regeneration first happens, the Time Lord or Time Lady is in a very interesting state. For example, when the 4th Doctor has regenerated from being the 3rd Doctor, we see him hit a brick and break a brick with his bare hand that he can't do by the end of Robot. So in the beginning of Robot, he can break a brick. At the end of Robot, at the end of his very first story, he cannot break the brick anymore. So when a Time Lord or Time Lady is regenerating, they're still in a place of their body is still working itself out and still getting the kinks out. And with the 10th incarnation in the Christmas Invasion, he says, when he gets his hand chopped off, he says, "I'm lucky," and he grows his hand back. So we see that when the Time Lord is still regenerating, and the regeneration cycles or the regeneration situation or moment is not fully complete, their body is still cooking. It's still not fully cemented that this is what their body is looking like. It's still working itself out. So with Romana changing her incarnations like that, and changing how her body looks in what the same regeneration phase, I thought that was just the showing, or the writer showing another way of looking at regeneration and therefore expanding what could happen with regeneration. I dug it. I was actually pretty enjoyable and happy seeing it. And I love how seeing with each incarnation, what I loved about the actresses that they chose was each actress had a different skin pigment. Each actress had a different tone to her skin, showing how a Time Lord, that was the beginning of showing how Time Lord or Time Lady can change skin colors when they regenerate. I liked seeing that. I liked seeing how they could change, even looking like a different species when they regenerate. I liked it. I thought that was very interesting. So that's my takes on why I don't have a problem with Romana regenerating, but in the way she did. So guys, what do you think about Romana's regeneration sequence in The Destiny of the Daleks? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Either way, I'm okay with whatever you feel. Let me know in the comment section. Peace out, guys.